Hello everyone, this is Satish from Heaven Apps. In this application, I am going to show how to configure your Android Studio project for Quiz App Starter Kit all-in-one for Android with CMS. I assume that you have went through my demo video as well as a CMS configuration video. Once you are done with CMS configuration, then we have to configure Quiz App Starter Kit Android so that your application can pull data from CMS. When you download a package, you will see that Quiz App Starter Kit Android version 1.0 Android Studio project and Web CMS code. I'm assuming which you have already hosted by referring Web CMS configuration video. So let's start with Android Studio project. Just drag your folder on Android Studio and make sure that you have installed the latest Android Studio version. So once the application is open, you'll see that HA configuration file where you have to configure all the features and some of the parameters according to your requirement. So this file is located under Java app settings HA configuration. So before doing so, I would recommend you to rename your package name. So this is must because your application is identified by this package name on developer console for your application. So for renaming package name, I would recommend you to go through some links on Google. There are a lot of documents on this how to rename package. So I am using com.heavenappsquiz.quizappnew. So you have to change it because your application needs to identify on Play Store as uniquely. So let me explain the parameters or values which are needs to be set on this configuration file. So the first thing is base64 encode license key, so which you will find on developer console. This is very important so that your application can make Google API calls, and this is not related to CMS. So CMS configuration is here. So here you need to give domain URL, the complete domain URL where your code is hosted, and application ID. This application ID is from CMS, not from the application you created in developer console. So I'll just show you from where I get this URL and the app ID. So if I go to my CMS tool, I have logged to my CMS tool already. So here you can see one application is already created which is pointing to my both iOS and Android application. So CMS is common for both iOS and Android. So here I need to see the URL, what is the code path I have hosted. Just copy this complete line and paste it in your project, Android Studio project. Please follow the correct format. Some people put slash here, so which is wrong. By putting slash there, then no API calls are made to pull the quiz data. So then this is the app ID. You need to find app ID here by saying edit. I'm assuming that you have referred demo and CMS configuration video. Once again, I would like to point that here now you can see app ID. This app ID you need to copy and just paste it here, which I have already done. So once this is done, your app is hooked up to your CMS. Now it is able to read all quiz data from your server. So next thing is we are going to configure the titles for the screens. So here you can configure home screen title, category screen, about screen, settings, and so on. And next thing is enable in-app purchases for your category. So if you would like to sell some category, so you have to enable this as a true. For example, I will just refer my CMS tool. Okay, so I'll click on categories. Here you can see I have 3 categories, and people is the category which I want to sell, and this category will appear in more categories. That is, yeah, here in more categories. The more categories will have all the categories which are ready for in-app purchases. So how do I know that this particular category is for in-app purchase? So if you see, when you add a category, so you make sure that you are adding a product identifier which is created in in-app products for your application. So if you see the developer console, in your app details, you can see in-app products. Click on in-app products. So I have created some lot of product IDs for test purpose. Please ignore that. So you have to create product IDs only required for your application. So here I have added a product ID for and this people category. So if you see, if you edit and see, so here you can see Android product ID. Okay, so next thing is these categories are displayed in play quiz section because they do not have any uh, purchase identifier, in-app identifier. Okay, I hope that clears that out. And show ads, if you make it true, then the app will display the banner and full screen ads from Google, that is AdMob. To configure this ad section, I'll just take you to the some file. Here you can go to values and strings. Here you can see that for full screen Google ads, you have to specify the ad ID here, and this is for banner ads ID, so which you have to create in Google account. So this you have to specify here. Once this is specified here, this ID will be pulled for showing the ads. So next is enable in-app purchase for remove ads. Suppose if you make it true, then you have to create a product identifier just like in-app product ID for your category. You have to create an ID, and that ID needs to be specified here. If this value is false and show ads is true, the app will display ads, but it won't allow user to make an in-app purchase to remove the ads. I hope this is clear. And the next section is shuffle options. So you can make it true false. If shuffle is true, the app will shuffle. If not, then the order whatever you have entered in CMS, the same order options will be shown. Enable time-based scoring. If this value is true for your categories, as you know that there are 2 types of games we can add. When I say category, it is nothing but a game. So there are 2 types of categories we add. One is timer based and one is non-timer based. If this value is true, and this value is only applicable for your timer based category, and the score will be calculated depending on the user answered time. If this value is false, the application will pick the particular for that particular question, whatever the point is added, that value will be that those many points will be given to the user directly without constraining on time. So, and this is highlight correct answer on answering wrong. So if user answer a particular question wrong, then correct answer will be highlighted. So I'll just show that how it happens. Now application is pulling the categories. So I'll go to cars category. Okay, so here you can see uh, I'll just answer wrongly. So now the app is highlighting the correct answer. So if I answer correctly, then the correct answer sure. So if this is a false, then app will show only red, which is answered wrong if I answer wrong, and the correct answer won't be shown. So default question duration. If there is no value for question duration, the default duration will be 15. Use link for about screen. So this is you can give either plain text for your about screen, or you can give a web link. So let me show that. So if you go to info, so here you can see I am displaying my Facebook page as my about. So it is using a link because I have set this value as a true, and about link I am giving as my Facebook page. If this value is false, the app will pick this plain text and it will display in the about screen. Okay, and this is sorry for this, we are not using this, as I showed that those ad IDs are picked from strings strings.xml. Here you can configure your ad IDs for full screen and banner. Okay. So, next thing is total wins leaderboard ID. Okay, total wins leaderboard ID is for multiplayer configuration. If a particular user wins, if I win 5 matches, then my leaderboard will have 5 wins count. So that I cannot show on emulator because emulator does not support um, login to the Google Play games, and also I cannot test in-app purchases here since emulator will not log into that. So I will show how to configure leaderboard IDs first. Uh, as we know that every category will have a leaderboard ID, so that if you have seen here, so I have a leaderboard ID for every category, so that whenever I play a game and score will be pushed to that particular leaderboard. And this leaderboard ID we get it from the application. So you have to go to game services and choose your game, whatever the game is. Okay, please ignore the images, these are put for test purposes. So you can see in leaderboards you have to create such leaderboard IDs. Okay, for car, people, sports are created some IDs, and total wins is for keeping track on number of wins in multiplayer. These IDs I'm going to put for respective category. And for total wins, we are going to configure in the application itself in this configuration file. And next thing is um, ID, and also we have something called achievements for every the achievements are related to multiplayer games. If a user crosses some particular number of wins, that we configure in, just go to assets, there is a file called achievements.json. Here you have to specify the achievements which you have created. If user wins 10, then I'm going to give this achievement. This achievement title is defined on Google. So if you go to achievements, I have created some achievements, and these IDs I have added here wins, and this should please make sure that achievements are in ascending order. See, if I have 10 wins, the achievement officer lieutenant will be unlocked. If I win 20, then officer captain will be unlocked. The user will be promoted on each achievement he achieves. So based on that, if you have one more achievement, so you can just copy this portion of data, just paste it here and put your number of wins and update your achievement ID. Okay, so now coming back to configuration file. So all now I showed how to configure leaderboard IDs for your categories and achievements. For leaderboard IDs are added as I shown for every category. You can see. See, this is the leaderboard ID. If you have Android iOS version, you can configure leaderboard ID here. Next, enable Twitter scoring, score sharing. So if this is true, then you'll see an icon of Twitter sharing icon on final screen, high score screen, and enable Facebook score sharing and Play Store link of this application. You have to get the link of this application and put it here, so that whenever we share scores, along with that we will share your application link, or even you can link it whatever page you want. Okay, these are the configurations which we need to do. And to enable multiplayer, so we have something called application ID, app ID. So that is, just go to res folder, values and IDs. Here you will find one ID, that is a app ID for your game in developer console. Just go to developer console. Here you see this is the ID what I am going to use. This ID needs to be added here, so that the application identify your game, this game, so that application will identify this particular packaged application is linked with this particular game. So this is most important. If this is not done, you won't be able to log into your multiplayer game and play. So okay, let's have a look at for sharing options. For sharing your scores on Twitter, you have to configure your callback here, and consumer key here, and secret key, and auth verifier. And for Facebook, just give a application name here, and your Facebook app ID needs to be specified here. And one more configuration is required to configure Facebook, that is go to manifest file. Here you can see there is a provider. Yeah, so here you can see there is a provider which is appended with your ID. So since I could not make this as a dynamic, what you have to do is you just go here and copy your Facebook app ID and just replace this one. Okay, so now the application is configured for Facebook sharing. So next is changing the application name. So if you want to change your application name, just click here, app name, strings, just command click on it. Then here you can find the app name. So change the name here, whatever name you want to display under your application icon on phone. This application supports all Nexus 1 to Nexus 10 device layouts, so covering almost all the devices. So these are the configurations which we need to make. So if you have any doubt, there is a feedback button on CMS screen. I'll just show you. Okay, this is the feedback button which will allow you to email me with all your doubts. If anything is missing from my part while explaining, I will consider it or putting in product description, or even I can make a video about it. I hope this video helps you. Thank you. Thank you for your support. Please go through CMS uh, configuration video as well as the demo video for clarifications for all your doubts. Thank you.